The Su-27P is a Soviet Tier 7 fighter. It's most known for its ability to perform a Cobra maneuver. But before I tell you how to perform a Cobra, I'll tell you a bit about its performance. As you can see, it's pretty good. The Su-27 has a good top speed and stall speed. The optimal speed is somewhat low, but because this plane has poor energy retention, maintaining that optimal cannot be done without losing some altitude. The thrust-to-weight ratio is very good, allowing you to regain your energy quickly after a dogfight. The turn rate is not as high as I expected it to be, but it's still very good, allowing you to dominate in one-circle turns. The roll rate isn't the best, but that alone won't ruin your performance, and unless you're used to the F-15, you won't have a problem with it. Now I'll show you how to perform a Cobra maneuver. First, you want to slow down to around 700 km per hour. Once you've done that, you want to increase your throttle to 100%. Then, you'll press the N and S key on your keyboard. If done correctly, you'll end up with this. Now let's move on to the offensive armament. For the gun, you get the 30mm GSH-30 cannon. This cannon hits extremely hard and it can easily blow off wings, if you can aim, of course. The ammo count is nothing special, having 150 rounds when maxed is okay, but you need to have some trigger patience if you want to get multiple kills without reloading. The best ammo belt is of course the air targets belt. You get a total of 96 countermeasures, 32 flares and 64 chaff. This is a good amount that allows you to survive multiple engagements and return to your airfield to rearm. The first missile I'll cover today is the R-27T, an all-aspect infrared heat-seeking missile. It's this plane's only stock missile and you can only carry 2 of them. But this doesn't make it a bad missile. It has pretty good range for an IR missile, sharing the same booster as the R-27R. This allows you to get some long-range kills on unsuspecting targets that didn't flare it in time. Speaking of flares, this missile has a good flare resistance in rear aspect shots. In front and side aspect shots it's flared more easily. The max G pull is decent, however, don't expect it to pull insanely hard. Fire this missile no closer than 1 km in rear aspect shots and 2.5 km in head-ons. You can test these ranges yourself and find one that suits you more. The second IR missile of the video is the R-73, an all-aspect infrared heat-seeking missile. This missile has an insane 45 Gs of pull, allowing you to get high off-bore launches that will surely surprise the enemy. Some are able to flare in time while others can't or don't see the missile coming. The flare resistance is decent in rear aspect shots, but in front and side aspect shots it gets flared easily. The range is also pretty decent. You can get kills from 6 km if the enemy doesn't flare. The Su-27 also has a head-mounted display, or HMD, which allows the R-73 to reach its maximum potential. You can fire it from pretty close in rear aspect shots, around half a kilometer. In any other aspect, I don't recommend firing it from closer than 1 km, or the missile won't pull into the target, unless they're flying directly towards you. If you have the upgrade points, definitely get this missile. The only semi-active radar homing missile the Su-27 is able to carry is the R-27R, the radar version of the R-27T. For this tier it's a pretty good radar missile, having a decent max G pull and a very good booster. It is a bit heavier than the American AIM-7. That's why carrying 6 noticeably worsens your performance. When it comes to when you should fire this missile, I recommend firing it from 3 to 7 km in head-ons and 1 km from behind an enemy. If you fire it from a longer distance, you'll give the enemy a lot of time to notch. If you fire it from a closer distance, the missile won't pick up enough speed to efficiently maneuver. This missile can also be outmaneuvered. So if you're fighting against someone that's skilled, be ready to engage in a dogfight if he does end up dodging it. In my opinion, a must if you want to do well in this plane. Here's a couple recommended loadouts. Keep in mind that equipping the last two noticeably worsens your performance. I personally use the last one, but you can choose the one that suits you the most. The radar the Su-27 has is the N001 mesh. It's just your average radar of Tier 7. It has an OK Doppler filter of 45 meters per second. The enemy still easily notches your radar, but that's the case with pretty much every Tier 7 radar, if the enemy knows how to notch, of course. Both the max detection range and search cone are average, but keep in mind that you can't notch and keep a radar lock at the same time. This radar gets two modes: TWS or soft lock and STT or hard lock. The TWS mode is useful for radar-assisted infrared heat-seeking missile launches and seeing in which direction the enemy is flying without pinging their RWR. Speaking of RWRs, the Su-27 has the SPO-15 as its RWR. As you can see, it's not the best. The text on your screen only covers the basics of this RWR, but it's enough information to use it correctly. You can pause the video to read the full essay. Here's a short guide on the Su-27's playstyle. You can once again pause the video to read the full thing. Last thing I have to do is place it on this tier list. This one might be a bit controversial, but I'll put it into S tier. It is true that you get a below average RWR, But this plane has very good one-circle performance. A head-mounted display, which when paired with a missile that has the highest max G-pull in this tier, it can provide a very deadly combo. It can also carry 10 missiles, which is the most in this tier. Overall, this is a very good plane that can give you excellent results in a match. So, what do you guys think of the Su-27? Do you think it's overpowered? Comment down below. Before I finish this video, I'd like to thank It's Me for wasting €1 a month to be the biggest fan. Also, I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you want to, you can contribute towards that number. Now that I've said everything I wanted, I thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.